All right. With that down, guys, let's talk about this. This is a story I do not hear a lot of outlets talking about, and I am absolutely fascinated by it. Jon Gruden just scored a major legal victory that is going to keep Roger Goodell and other NFL team owners lying awake in their beds, soaked in cold sweat. Now, for those of you who have not followed this, here's a little, just a refresher, just the basics of it. A couple of years ago, there was a full exhaustive investigation of Daniel Snyder and the Washington Redskins and their football organization. In that investigation, over 650,000 pieces of information, email, correspondence, letters, all that kind of stuff was pulled together as a part of the investigation. Now, it was all sealed and private. Well, months later, after the NFL season starts, somebody in the NFL decides to leak a couple of those 650,000 pieces of information to, I believe, the Wall Street Journal. Mm-hmm. And was an email from Jon Gruden, who at the time was the coach of the Raiders. They were a couple of games into the season, which, hey, listen, painted Jon Gruden in a pretty bad light. Let's just call it what it is. Nothing happened. So whoever this was in the NFL decided to leak a couple of more 10-year-old emails. And the emails were about 10 years old at the time, I think. This time, I think, to the New York Post. Again, stuff from Jon Gruden to the, at that time, owner of the general manager, I think, of Washington.
Yeah, his name was Bruce Allen.
That's it. Again, not a good look for Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden eventually gets strong-armed and gets pushed out of the team. Now, Jon Gruden a couple of years ago then brought a lawsuit against the NFL and Roger Goodell saying, isn't it funny that out of the 650,000 pieces of email and correspondence between all the NFL owners and all the inside dirt, only a couple of very specific hand-selected pieces about me got leaked to the media. And so Jon Gruden is going to take the NFL and Roger Goodell to court. Here was the catch. There is an agreement in the contracts of NFL coaches and whatnot that says if there is a legal dispute, it's got to go to arbitration instead of court. Can't go to court, it's got to go to arbitration. And here's the kicker. Roger Goodell himself gets to be the arbitrator.
Pretty convenient.
Roger Goodell himself gets to be the arbitrator. So Jon Gruden's in a situation where I'm trying to sue Roger Goodell and the NFL, but Roger Goodell gets to be the de facto judge. How is that fair? So Roger Goodell took it to court. The court said, you're right. That's ridiculous. You get to take this to trial. The NFL and Roger Goodell appealed it to the Nevada State Supreme Court. And in a ruling of 2-1, the judges voted, again, 2-1, in favor of the NFL, saying, nope, this doesn't get to go to court. This has to stay in arbitration. Now, the dissenting justice on the Nevada State Supreme Court said, this is ridiculous. It is a fundamental miscarriage of justice that the subject of a lawsuit also gets to be its adjudicator. That's ridiculous. But that was it. It was done. But now the Nevada State Supreme Court is coming back and saying, we only had 3 of our judges on that panel. We're going to review it again, this time with all 7 justices of the Nevada State Supreme Court. And this has Roger Goodell and the NFL completely pissing themselves. Why? Why are they so scared? Here's why they're scared. When you take something to court, I'm going to super oversimplify this, but there's a process called discovery. And in discovery, you get to go through all the underwear drawers of the other party. Roger Goodell is now facing a reality where if the Nevada State Supreme Court comes back and rules in Jon Gruden's favor, then what that means is Gruden and his lawyers get access to all 650,000 pieces of information that were a part of that Washington Redskin investigation. And the reason that is going to cause Roger Goodell and all the NFL owners to sweat in their beds is because, hey, they just picked out a couple of nasty sounding emails from Jon Gruden. What other good old boy language and things have been said between different NFL owners? Tell you what, we don't want to pay our quarterback that much. You agree not to making him an offer, I'll make sure I sweeten the deal. How many laws and rules and has been broken? How many different ways left of right? How are we going to find ways that NFL owners and Roger Goodell himself have completely humiliated themselves? And there is nothing that the NFL fears more right now than the contents of that 650,000 pieces of correspondence between coaches and owners and the league. They do not want this to see the light of day, and they will do anything they can to try to prevent it. And that is why I'm kind of shocked that we're not hearing more sports outlets talking about this. Mm-hmm. Because, and here, I guarantee you this, this will never go to trial. I guarantee you. And here's why I guarantee it'll never go to trial. Because if Jon Gruden wins this hearing in front of the Nevada State Supreme Court, and I think he will win. Again, it's a fundamental basis of common sense. You cannot have the person being sued as the judge in the matter of the lawsuit. You can't have that. That is a fundamental miscarriage of justice. So I believe that the Nevada, I don't know this for sure, but I believe the Nevada State Supreme Court will come back in Jon Gruden's favor. And if they do, and tells him you can take this to court now and you can go through discovery, I believe, can you hear this? Can you hear this? You hear the knocking on the door. Jon Gruden answers the door, and there's 5 guys in suits with 17 dump trucks filled with Spanish gold. Saying, you make this little lawsuit go away, we will pay you $1 million. Oh, wait, now it's $1 billion. We will pay you $1 billion. They will offer Jon Gruden and give Jon Gruden, listen to me, I'm not exaggerating here. They will give Jon Gruden whatever he wants, because under no circumstances, life or death, does the NFL want those emails getting out. They do not want those getting out. Now, Jon Gruden said a couple of years ago when this whole legal proceeding started, he said, I don't want money. I want to destroy the NFL. That's fine to say until somebody brings you a check with 9 zeros on it.
Well, different decision at that point.
That might change it around. But listen, this could fundamentally change everything. Anyway, Ryan, you heard about this. You looked into this. What's standing out to you about this whole situation?
I mean, I'm kind of in agreement with you. Like, the NFL doesn't want people to see all the rest of these emails or hear about them. I mean, who knows what's in there?
Roger Kraft giving his best massage parlor recommendations to all the other owners.
We could look at a few things, right? Concussions, stuff with concussions.
Yep.
Kaepernick.
Bury those
Kaepernick
things.
Stuff.
Yep. Let's all agree not to hire Kaepernick.
And like you said, other owners saying things that they don't want to get out, inappropriate, misogyny, racial, homophobic, because that's basically what Gruden stuff was. Horrible stuff. Not trying to say his stuff was.
Yeah. And by the way,
whatever,
we're not sitting here saying that we feel sorry for Jon Gruden.
No.
Right? I'm not saying that at all. But there is a fundamental issue of fairness that if in this investigation, the 650,000 pieces, it was all supposed to be under lock and key and seal, why was only his stuff leaked? And more importantly, why was only his stuff leaked after the NFL season had started? And that's so, hey, think whatever you want about Jon Gruden. I'm not going to argue with you at all. But there is a fundamental basis of fairness here about he was clearly specifically targeted. He was specifically the in the crosshairs of either the league or somebody in particular. Yeah. And the fundamental idea that if he has a legal grievance to bring, the adjudicator of that grievance should not be the person who has aggrieved you. I don't know. So I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, no, you're fine. And another note was the Raiders owner, when those emails came out, he went around to the team players and asked what they thought if they should get a new coach or what they thought of all of it. and apparently Goodell called him and said he has to get rid of him. So
Yeah.
that's overriding pretty much everything. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. I would assume it's going to settle. There's no way they're going to go to court for this.
No chance.
And I mean, like Gruden was a young coach and he can't coach anymore. He was on Monday Night Football. He's not in there anymore. So he really basically now he does YouTube videos and TikTok stuff, analyzing games.
Yep.
So like he pretty much lost his way of making money with football professionally, at least because of this. So he's trying to probably make up for it and get back at them for basically giving, letting all that stuff out to the public.
Well, listen, if this does clear the Nevada State Supreme Court, he will make more money than he ever would have in the rest of his career
For sure.
coaching football.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this whole situation? Listen, I've been saying this for years about this Gruden situation. It stinks. This is a smelly situation, and it looks like there's some new movement on. And whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.